Hello friends, I am Dr. Shailendra KJ Somaya College, Koperga. Today I am going to deal with the class TYA and the subject is compulsory English. From the textbook, today I am going to talk about the poem All the World's a Stage, written by famous writer William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare wrote numerous plays as well as 154 sonnets. Popularly, he is known for his tragedies. He has written 4 great tragedies, and the names of those tragedies are Hamlet, Macbeth, King Lear, and Othello. All over the world, people are attracted towards these tragedies, and many have turned these plays into films. Even in India, some films are based on Shakespeare's plays. His famous other plays include A Midsummer Night's Dream, As You Like It, The Merchant of Venice, The Twelfth Night, so on. The present poem, All the World is a Stage, is a monologue, an extract taken from the play As You Like It at 2 scene 7, and it is spoken by the character Jax. Before we go ahead, I would like to read out the poem for you, and then we'll discuss the poem line by line. The poem is a philosophical poem. We can say that this is Shakespeare's philosophy of life. In this poem, he has divided man's life into 7 stages, and in the poem, he has stated those 7 stages wonderfully. So, let's begin the poem. All the world's the stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man, in his time, plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewing and puking in the nurse's arms. Then, the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with woeful ballad met to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise thoughts and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful pose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shame, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans step, sans size, sans death, sans everything. This is the poem, and you can find that Shakespeare has divided man's life into 7 stages of life. In the first stanza, he says man entered the stage and then he has exits. So he has compared life with the stage where acts are being played, where characters come and go. They play their part and they go away. Now let us discuss the poem line by line. All the verse stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. In the first part of the poem, Shakespeare says that this world is a stage and all the men and women are merely players. They are like actors, they play their part, and for that they have their exits and their entrances. And that one man plays his part, and his acts being 7 ages. So his life is divided into 7 stages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. The poet says that there are 7 stages in man's life. The first stage of life is that of an infant, crying and vomiting in the nurse's arms. An infant is helpless and is totally dependent on others. This is the first stage described by the poet. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. This is the second stage. The second stage is that of childhood, which is also the school-going age. The poet gives an image of a bright-eyed boy with a shining morning face, with his school bag, unwillingly dragging himself to school in a snail pace. You might remember your school days. During the school days, children are more interested in playing various games, and so they are very unwilling to go to school. This is the very keen observation of the poet regarding the second stage of life. Now the third stage. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad, met his mistress's eyebrow. The third stage is that of youth, when a man plays the part of a lover, is attracted towards women and composes poems to describe and adore them. He experiences the emotions of joy, passion, disappointment, and anxiety in this difficult period of life. The fourth stage. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. The fourth stage is that of an adult or manhood. The poet gives an example of an arrogant soldier who wears shaggy beard that makes him look like a violent leopard. He is bold, brave, ambitious, and full of energy. He curses and swears in strange and manly fashion and is eager to establish a status in society. He is quick to defend his honor and violently protects his reputation. He is ready to risk and sacrifice his life in the battlefield and seeks glory, fame, and recognition. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capron line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. This is the fifth stage. The fifth stage is the middle age. The poet shows this character as a judge. This is the stage when a man is more grounded in life. He is no more spontaneous, and the experiences in his life make him a mature and balanced person. He is satisfied with life, which reflects in his outfit, behavior, and communication. Speaking about the judge, the poet pictures him as a man with a fine, round stomach filled with the best meat of the capon. He is wealthy, full of wise saying, has a severe look, and has a well-trimmed beard to seize his profession of a judge. The next stanza, that is sixth age. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful pose will sail a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The sixth stage of life is the phase when a man begins to grow old. He becomes physically and mentally weak. He looks childish and funny with spectacles in his nose, slippers on his feet, and purse slinging on his side. He becomes weak and lean. He wears an ill-fitting pair of trousers. The breeches which he had worn in his youth preserved happily, for his old age don't fit him anymore as they are too big for his lean legs. His manly voice becomes piercing and weak like a child's voice. The last part of the poem. And the poet says, last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans step, sans eyes, sans stress, and sans everything. The seventh and the final stage is when a man grows extremely old. This last stage shows the final stage of man on earth. It brings an end to his existence on earth and accelerates his journey towards his death. His acts on the stage of the world slowly come to a closure. Man loses his reasoning power and becomes absent-minded and helpless. He again slips back to the infancy stage, largely dependent on others, and the poet calls this stage as second childishness. He loses his teeth, his eyesight, his taste buds. He is on the verge of losing everything, even himself, to the final call of death. Friends, in this poem, poet has used images. The images used in the poem are appropriate. The basic meaning of the poem is that of temporariness and changing stages of life that pass rather too quickly. The deeper meaning of the poem is that of the transience or shortness of life and the short span of importance of fame, and the we as actors enjoy and then are heard no more. Friends, we have discussed this poem line by line, and I hope you might have understood everything. Once again, just take a recall. Poet has divided human life in 7 stages, or man's life in 7 stages. The first stage poet has described is of an infant. The second stage, that was schoolboy. Third stage, a lover. Fourth stage, a soldier. Fifth stage, a justice, that is middle age. Fifth stage is a justice, and sixth stage an old man, and the seventh stage extremely old man or extreme old man or death. Here we can say that Shakespeare has put forth his philosophy of life through this beautiful monologue. This is a monologue taken from the play As You Like It, and let me explain what monologue means. Mono means single and log means speech. When a single person speaks something to the audience on this stage, it is called monologue. Just to make it more clear, let me remind you about dialogue. Di means two and log means speech. When a speech is taken between two persons, it becomes dialogue. So mono means single, only one person is speaking on the stage, assuming that somebody is listening to it. So it's a monologue spoken by Jax in the play, and through which the speaker or the poet expresses his philosophy of life through this beautiful poem. For today, this is all from my side. See you next time. Till then, have safe and healthy life. Thank you.